Welcome to Zola's podcast. Today I have here a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Damar and I am Lila's boyfriend. I study in Universitas Indonesia, majoring in management.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss about how social media plays a role in the toxicity of romantic relationships and basically the shift from traditional dating to modern day dating. And because today's topic revolves around dating, that's why my special guest is
Me.
my boyfriend. Okay, so let's just jump into the first question. How would you define the traditional way of dating?
The way it was back then, probably people would date to marry, and on top of that, what is most valued back then would be loyalty. What do you think?
Well, to me, I think like how I would define traditional with you is different. But to me, traditional I think is like different in a way that people are not associated a lot with social media. Because like, look at us now. Like with apps like social media, like TikTok and Instagram, people constantly like publicize and like they get open about their relationship in the internet. Whereas like if I were to compare it with how my parents were like back then, they would write letters, they would make mixtapes. The only way that they could talk to each other wasn't even through phone, it was through meeting each other, like driving to my mom's house or meeting at a mall. So everything was very face to face instead of like being, I guess, blocked by like the internet in a way. Like I feel like interaction back then was also way more precious than how it is now. Whereas now it's kind of just like, oh, like I can just video call you and I could still see your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like because of social media, people perceive that like a relationship or like a perfect couple is the one that posts a lot on Instagram, is the one that portrays like their happy side on Instagram. It doesn't really have any value if you think about it.
Yeah.
Then again, social media is just like for people's entertainment. It doesn't necessarily have any value towards your relationship. I mean, yeah, you show off your partner, you show that you love your partner, but what good is that if it's just like the good sides and and like you don't actually put effort into
somehow,
the relationship,
like creating like a fake reality, you know, just to, like to satisfy yourself and to satisfy like
and I feel like sometimes social media over exaggerates the effort that one partner puts into
That's
the
true.
relationship.
So good point, but that leads off to my next question. Is the culture of dating now more toxic than how it was back then?
Yeah,
I think that it is.
okay, the first point that I'm probably gonna bring up is how social media portrays a good relationship to be, because like every day you see like trends on TikToks or Instagram or like types of posts that a couple should have, right? But and they look happy, and as a result those become like the measure of happiness within a relationship.
The standard?
Yeah, the standard. But I feel like a relationship doesn't always have to be like that, you know? Because I feel like a relationship can just be special without social media. If I were to choose, then I would rather have a relationship with no social media whatsoever than to have like a relationship filled with social media, and then in real life it's just the complete total opposite. Nowadays it's not direct, you know? Like with social media, if you have a problem, a lot of times people just post it on their Instagram and like they try to shade one another. And I feel like that's just, to me, if you have a problem, if it's really disturbing you, you should have the bravery to speak about it to your partner. If you don't shade them, because that just comes off as disrespectful.
So do you find it more toxic?
Yeah, of course, because in my opinion, I don't really believe that every relationship is good based on social media.
Okay, so I think that with social media, the culture of dating is obviously more toxic, and as Delmar mentioned, like in social media, people tend to like shade like their couples. Like for instance, in an argument, and like you're the one in the wrong, right? And then like people would post TikTok videos that are relatable to their situation, and post it on their social media in hopes that their partner would immediately take a hint, you know?
Yeah.
What makes relationship now more toxic is just the lack of communication. Sometimes, like, okay, social media has an aim for it to just be easy for everything, But sometimes things that are easy can lead to more complicated things. And this is what social media is doing to relationships, in my opinion. Does social media have an impact towards like couples dating lives?
Yeah.
Good way or bad way?
I would say that a relationship without social media, okay, like social media in the sense of like Snapchat or like Instagram or TikTok,
Like those apps.
like, okay, those apps, they don't necessarily have an effect.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what I was about to say. I don't think social media has any effect on relationships. But if we're talking about like WhatsApp,
those are like
Line,
communication
yeah,
for social media nowadays. Yeah.
yeah.
So then, yeah, that helps actually.
But I think like even without Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, I don't think a relationship would be affected at all.
Yeah.
But like I don't think couples need it. I don't think it's a necessity for a couple to have
Yeah.
like social media.
I feel like you post more, but then like I don't have any problems with that, you know? But me, I post you on like special occasions, you know? And I feel like that doesn't necessarily make me putting less effort into the relationship.
No. I think it all comes back to like what a person uses social media for. Like I use social media as like just a place for me to show my life. Well, he's a part of my life, so I just want to share it with people. At a certain point, when I didn't post you for like months, people were like, did you break up? Did you break up? Did you break up? You see how social media becomes like a certain like target for like the audience to know whether, oh, they're still in a relationship, oh, they're not in a relationship anymore. So it's like when you go public now, you're not the only ones in the relationship.
Yeah.
People watching you are also in the relationship. From what I see, a lot of people tend to just show that they just broke up or show that they're going through something. How social media contributes to the toxicity of romantic relationships is the fact that everybody's immediately involved once you go public, and it has an impact towards communication. And it's also the fact that you're creating like a fake reality and like a certain standard for people to look up to, or for yourself to look up to.
Yeah.
And it's like people will be like, I wish my boyfriend was like that, you know? Like whenever I post videos of you, people are always commenting like, I want to be like that, like I wish I had a boyfriend like that, blah blah. And I'm not saying that dumber shouldn't be the standard, you know, because to me he is, but it's like he shouldn't be the standard for the general public. I've seen like couples arguing over the fact that their boyfriend doesn't want to make like cute videos of them and stuff, but like that shouldn't be the standard, you know?
Because of social media, people fixate on what their partner doesn't have. That causes an issue within the relationship.
That's true.
And they forget about like the things that the partner has brought up to the relationship. And if they lose it, if they lose that partner, they lose everything that the partner has put up for the relationship. A lot of times people are so blindsided with like social media, and so that they feel like they're not in the wrong for losing that relationship.
That's true.
If you're trying to alter the reality of the relationship based on the happiness that you portray within that video, that's harmful, because it's just fake.
All in all, I think that the shift of how dating used to be and how it is now, it can be both good change and a bad change. Again, like with good change, I feel like it depends on the social media apps that you're using. Like if you're using WhatsApp or you're using Line, then that could have a good impact towards your relationship, because it makes communication much easier, especially when you're like in a long distance relationship or when you're far away from each other. Then of course it makes it easier. And I think that although with social media it also eases communication, there's also a downside to it too. And I think that it is more of a bad change than it is good, because then again, we discussed that without social media, dating life doesn't really have any effect. Meanwhile, now it's like affecting a lot of people. Like people get hurt because of the internet, people getting the wrong perception, people jumping into conclusions and whatnot. So yeah, I think that it depends. So what about you? Do you think that it's a good change or a bad change?
I agree.
You agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for those podcasts. Hope you enjoy. Bye. Like my video and my video only.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.